Hello, I'm Lade Smith. I'm President of the Royal College of Psychiatrists, and together with our honorary officers, our Dean, Sabo Dave, our Registrar, Trudy Senabaratna, and of course our Treasurer, John Crichton, who's here with me today, we lead this incredible organisation. So, John Crichton, who is fellow officer and Treasurer, has agreed to talk through our governance structure and explain how the college works. So John, thanks for joining me today.
Hi Lade, I'm delighted to help. Firstly, I should emphasise that all of the information about our governance structure is available on our website, so please do have a look at it.
So John, I was elected by, in the role of President, by the members. Is that the same for the honorary officers and the Vice Presidents?
Well, a large proportion of our college roll holders are elected by the members, including the honorary officers, to provide leadership across the organisation. The President is in post for 3 years. The other honorary officers, the Registrar, the Dean, the Treasurer, are in post for 5 years, although those terms may not run concurrently. The President chairs many of the meetings of the college and maintains overall order. The Registrar is responsible for policy, communication, and for membership support. The Dean is responsible for education and training and chairs the Education and Training Committee. And as Treasurer, I'm responsible for the college's finances. And our chairs in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, also known as the Vice Presidents, complete the group of the most senior members of the college. The President, Registrar, Dean and Treasurer sit on the Board of Trustees, while our devolved nation chairs share one seat on the Board of Trustees, and we all sit on council. Members can approach their faculty or divisional chair, who can then feed back to the other chairs at council or to the Board of Trustees.
So we have a Board of Trustees. Can you explain what they do?
Of course. So following charity law, the Board of Trustees acts as the governing body of the college, and it is the ultimate authority held to account for all the activity of the college. The board is chaired by the President and has full legal responsibility for the management of the college. The board decides on the biggest issues affecting the college, including finances, contracts and governance. Alongside the President, it's made up of the honorary officers, one representative from the faculties, one from the divisions and one from the devolved councils, alongside 4 lay trustees and 1 elected member representative. Lay trustees on the board are appointed by the honorary officers after an open application process. They provide experience beyond that offered by our members and often have non-clinical backgrounds and offer a different skill set, for example, legal, financial or HR experience. The elected member representative is appointed by the college membership to represent them on the board. There are also 2 subcommittees of the board which help examine and regulate specific areas of college activity. The Finance Management Committee, FMC. The FMC considers the college's financial policy and makes recommendations to the Board of Trustees, and the DCC considers disciplinary matters related to members and associates and deals with complaints regarding members and associates and makes recommendations and reports to the board. Resolutions passed by the subcommittees must be endorsed by the Board of Trustees.
So can you tell us a bit more about council?
Well, council's chaired by the President and has responsibility for the election of new members and fellows and approves applications for other categories of membership. Council makes recommendations to the Board of Trustees as well as any recommendations or ideas raised by members. There are 46 council members and they're made up of the honorary officers, elected members, co-opted members, committee chair representatives, division chairs and faculty chairs. Council members' responsibility is to speak for those they represent, for example, their nation or faculty, and that is how the college ensures wider views are taken into account as part of the decision-making process. Council members are also responsible for communicating what goes on at Council back to the committees that they chair. As with the Board of Trustees, there are a number of subcommittees which help examine and regulate specific areas of college activity, such as the Education and Training Committee.
So what about the devolved nations? How do they fit into the governance structure of the college?
Well, health is devolved, meaning that distinct policies, legislative frameworks, NHS structures and services operate independently within each nation of the United Kingdom. Devolved councils, DCs, in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland are responsible for delivering the aims and objectives of the college in their respective countries. They reflect and support the unique characteristics, opportunities and membership needs of each nation. Each has a chair who is also a vice president of the college.
Okay, so what about the divisions? How do they fit into the governance structure of the college?
We have 8 English divisions and they play a central role in the delivery of services to the 12,000 members in England, also the Channel Islands and the Isle of Man. There are also 6 international divisions in Africa, Europe, Middle East, Pan America, South Asia and the Western Pacific.
So the faculties, what are they?
It's also where most of our members will get their first taste of the inner workings of the college by joining a faculty. There are 13 faculties within the college and they represent the specialties of psychiatry and the subspecialties of psychiatry. Faculties represent the expertise, the experience and body of knowledge in each psychiatry specialty. Each has a chair and an executive committee.
So the special interest groups, what are they?
There are also 15 special interest groups, known as SIGs, that provide dedicated forums for members to come together to discuss shared topics of interest in psychiatry. Each SIG also has a chair, a finance officer and an informal executive committee.
So who are the senior management team, the SMT? Do they make decisions?
Well, that's the final piece of the jigsaw. The college is supported by 230 employees and 150 patient and carer workers. The senior management team oversees the staff and is made up of our chief executive and directors. They meet weekly to discuss key strategic and operational issues and make the decisions that have been delegated to them by the Board of Trustees and Council. Our senior management team help to keep things progressing while our members go back to their day jobs. We meet regularly to discuss our vision and then they help us to achieve that vision. They are overseen by the officers and communication between us and SMT is really productive.
So what impact does us being a charity have on how the college works?
Charity status increases the individual responsibility on trustees' fiduciary duties. External auditors scrutinise financial decisions and trustees can be held personally liable for the financial losses incurred because of their decision making. So there's a high burden of responsibility on our Board of Trustees. Although the scrutiny is high, it's a good thing, as this means that due consideration is always given to planned activity to ensure that it is in line with the charitable aims and what's objectively best for furthering the objectives of the college as a whole.
So what's the history of our college becoming royal and what's the impact of that title?
It goes all the way back to the way the UK's institutions were established. We have a royal charter which grants us the powers to act as the professional body of psychiatry in the UK. We were granted this in 1926 as the Royal Medical Psychological Association. In 1971, we were granted a supplemental charter which gave us the ability to become the Royal College of Psychiatrists. This supplemental charter is an additional document that revokes or amends part of the original one whilst retaining other bits, and it allows us as an organisation to change and develop as society changes and develops.
So are all our rules and regulations detailed in the bylaws?
Well, alongside the bylaws, we also have our supplemental charter and the regulations. Between all of them, the college's rules are detailed. The bylaws and the charter are more high level, as they grant us the power as the standard bearer of psychiatry in the UK. They set out our charitable objectives, while the regulations provide the operational framework and essentials of the daily running and management of the college.
As we discuss and address the changes in psychiatry and other areas, how do we approach changing the college to reflect these, and have we done this recently?
So changes don't happen often, but they can come about through a variety of routes. Changes are proposed by our board, but any member can put forward a proposal. We have a royal charter. Any changes to the bylaws must be approved by the Privy Council, and because we're a charity, they must also be compliant with the Charities Act. So there's a lot to do before we can even put it to the members in an AGM. Once we get to an AGM, changes will only be adopted by a 2/3 majority. Our supplemental charter and bylaws have been altered a number of times over the years, most recently at the AGM in 2023, but changes are only proposed by the board where they are seen as fundamentally important to the effective running of the college, and they are costly and time-consuming to pass. Everything must go to the Privy Council, and as a college we ensure that everything is checked by the lawyers before it goes to the Privy Council and after it has been to the Privy Council.
So what and where does the British Journal of Psychiatry and the other publications fit into the structure of the college?
Well, we produce high quality mental health publications and information through a wide range of books and journals published on our behalf by Cambridge University Press. The journals are led by the college editor, supported by the college members on the editorial board and the staff publishing team, and overseen by the Publications Management Board, PMB. The Publications Management Board reports directly to Council and meets twice per year. They appoint the editor-in-chief for each journal and the books programme. The college editor also reports to FMC and the Board of Trustees on financial and contractual matters.
So how do all the college management and governance structures work together?
Well, our chairs and vice chairs are vital to the lines of communication, as are our representatives across the board and council. Our staff also help to coordinate decisions and facilitate things for management. Regular meetings and discussions are important across the various groups, and we as the officers work hard to be available to all of the members.
Okay, but it's not just us, is it? It's the chairs of it's the council members, the elected representatives. They're also responsible for communicating, the minutes of meetings and the areas that they've been appointed to, so they can represent, appointed to represent, so they can maintain that pipeline of communication. It's a to and fro thing, isn't it? They've got to feed back from the council and then and any other committees that they're on, and then also make sure they canvass the views of their membership so that they can feed those into council.
Absolutely. For the college to work properly, we need communication from our members through their divisions, through their faculties, to the decision-making bodies, but we also need the discussions that are going on in those decision-making bodies to be fed back to the membership through their faculties and divisions and so on.
So given what we've talked about, how do we ensure that members' voices are heard and that their feedback's incorporated into across all areas of the college?
Well, we're a membership organisation with more than 21,000 members, and every single group or part of the college incorporates member feedback from council and board to our faculties and SIGs. We have a dedicated members only section to our website and a membership team who are always on hand to help and will share to feed back to an officer or to a group. Our question time with the officers is also an important new medium for our members to submit their queries and suggestions. We take the time each month to answer the questions posed in a podcast and webinar.
So we're keen to hear from more of our members and encourage more engagement with the college work. John, how do our members go about knowing how to get involved with the college?
Well, there's plenty of work in lots of different areas of the college, so there are lots of opportunities to get involved. All of our roles are advertised on the college website and give detailed descriptions of what's involved. They're also advertised on our social media, X, LinkedIn and Instagram.
So the fact is we're all very busy people. What does a commitment look like?
The honest answer is it varies. For many people who commit to a college role, it'll be a weekly commitment. For the officers, it's 2-3 times a week that they will be involved in lots of meetings. No one should consider the president's role with a light heart. And for those big roles, you would need to really talk to your family, talk to your employer, really think very seriously about it. But there are a huge number of ways that you can get involved in college life, and many of them are much less onerous. You can find out from college officers, other post holders, what the commitment's like, but being a committee member on a faculty or a division need not be so onerous, and every college role is rewarding because every college role is about our charitable aims and furthering psychiatry.
Thank you.